Hi and welcome to today's video. Today I want to talk about frequency healing and especially about the history of frequency healing. With frequency healing, you can have a device where you hold the device and the frequency modern science is just trying to pick up. As you will see later on in the presentation, this knowledge is very, very old. The whole universe has a frequency, and the frequency, for example, of our Mother Earth is 7.83 most of the time. If you want to ground yourself, this would be the frequency to use. On the first slide, we see a quote from Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was not the inventor or is not specially connected to frequency healing, but everything, as you will see, is connected together. So there is energy, there is sound, there's frequencies, even the geometry is connected to frequency. So everything is connected together. And Tesla said back then, if you want to find the secret of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. We talk about healing, sound healing, and also healing with vibrations. It doesn't really matter if it's called sound or vibration healing, because if you play an instrument, if you use some kind of instrument or some kind of tuning forks or whatever you want to use, at the end, it is always the frequency. In sound healing, if you use sound, you recognize the sound with the ears, and the ears will resonate in your brain and it will work a little differently. With frequency healing, you can have a device where you hold the device and the frequency will go into you, or you can just use headphones that cover a good range of frequencies and put it on your body. You can use, for example, a headphone. You can have headphones that you can turn and put the headphones here on your chest or on your belly or wherever you want to use it, and then use it in this way. But let's have a look what is actually the history. If we take a look on this slide, we are talking about ancient Greek history and especially Pythagoras. And I prepared a video and I want to play it for you and stop it in the middle and talk a little about the points. So let's have a look at the video.
Pythagoras had an idea called the harmony of the spheres. He purports that the planets, the sun, and the moon produce an inaudible frequency of noise that affects all things on Earth, a resonant frequency or music of the universe.
Even the universe, as we learned in this video, has got a sound, a frequency that we cannot hear, of course, because in the case of the universe, it's a very low deep frequency that our ear cannot hear. The very low frequencies, for example, an elephant can hear very low frequency. The higher frequencies, the dogs, the dolphins, and so on, can hear. We also don't hear. So even the earth, everything that is moving, or everything in nature, every tree, every stone, every whatever has got a frequency, and we can find out this specific frequency.
Pythagoras is credited with discovering harmonics, an important musical principle. He applied harmonics to the planets through math and numerology. What he came up with is a sort of solar system model that can be construed to resemble a musical instrument and sacred geometric patterns, which are expressions of sound through shape.
Here also these geometric patterns and everything is basically very much connected with sound, because if you look at the sound pattern, if you look at the sound wave, a frequency wave under the microscope, you will see these flowers forming, you will see the symbols, you will see these geometric forms forming, and this is really very beautiful.
Science today is only playing catch-up with Pythagoras. We can see that these patterns reflected in orbital resonance.
This is also a very interesting point in the video, that he's saying that modern science is just trying to pick up. As you will see later on in the presentation, this knowledge is very, very old actually, and it was not Pythagoras or any of the later developers like Tesla or Einstein or whatever who developed anything originally. You will see that they actually discovered it and have been able to apply it successfully in their machines, in their ideas.
Planets exert regular, periodic influences on each other. We also know that planets produce noise, electromagnetic frequencies outside of the audio spectrum our ears are capable of interpreting. Schumann resonances exist on Earth and are being discovered in other planets. Every orbiting body contains a vibrational noise, which by principle of sound can harmonize.
The whole universe has a frequency, and the frequency of our Mother Earth is 7.83 most of the time. It's variating very little. But if you want to ground yourself, this would be the frequency to use to ground yourself. You can play this frequency and put it on your body. You can play that frequency and even also listen to it. I will link it in the description so you can find the frequency and get it and use it for yourself if you have the feeling you need more grounding.
Pythagoras studied in Egypt for 22 years and brought many ideas to the Western world. Understanding that sound and gravity and electromagnetic frequency affects everything, it is simple to...
Here on this picture you see the Fibonacci lines. If you look here, everything is in this Fibonacci line. And if you look at your face, also everything is according to Fibonacci. If you look at the sunflower, if you look at whatever in nature, the structure is always harmonic and always related to Fibonacci. So this would be the outline here of the Fibonacci sequence.
Grasp that planets, stars, and the moon have been exerting subtle influences on Earth since before the planets even formed. These influences have helped to shape all life on Earth for the past 3 to 4 billion years since it first emerged.
Let's now continue to the ancient Egyptians. And in this case, it's very interesting. I found a video of an older man, and he is explaining actually that next to the pyramids, there has been healing chambers. And these healing chambers, they have been using to, of course, heal people, but we have forgotten all of that. So I was able to find this video, and I want to also play it for you, the video, so you can see how he explains it.
I'm going to take you now to see that hospital, the healing with the sound.
Stories about ancient healing techniques were passed down from generation to generation by the elders. Hakim explains how sound played a part in diagnosing and healing patients.
That line of construction, you see like 3 chambers.
You see one of a smaller pyramid in the background, and you see then this structure, so these healing chambers he's pointing to.
It's what's left of the house of the spirit. And it's a healing system with a sound. It's a medical investigation table. And the patient have the right to use either side of the stairs. One on the right, one on the left. So he have to follow, or she have to follow her own antenna to climb up there and choose the point where she stands. Because each point is connected to a cheek chamber. We have 22 of them, 11 on each side, no ceiling. And when you go inside...
So he's saying if the patient walks in, he has to somehow trust his intuition, because every step is basically connected to a different healing chamber. And the different healing chamber will probably have a different resonance, a different sound, a different vibration. And this is why it's probably important. But we will follow up in the video and say there's also a man, some kind of doctor, helping the people probably also to get on the right position, to the right position.
You can see a niche where the physician put his head in the niche to see what's the matter with his patient laying on this table. And that works with the sound. And the sound source is running water in a tunnel underneath here. So it's a big map of tunnels underneath here.
Let's consider that the pyramid sites along the Band of Peace are sophisticated harmonic structures, not only mirroring positions of the stars, but designed to replicate harmonic cavities of the human body.
He explained that actually the water was running in tunnels below the pyramid, and we know actually that this was also the case for the bigger pyramids. and they have been able to produce energy there. And if you listen to people who have been inside the pyramids, and when they told the guides to take off the light or make it silent, then they all said it was so quiet and such a strange structure of the pyramids that you could even hear your blood flow, because it's such silent and it's such a shape that this is really made for sound.
It seems that the chambers in the pyramids are harmonically tuned to a specific frequency or musical tone. Sound healing techniques were used to restore the patient's body to the correct harmonic within.
Now we continue to ancient China. You see, this is actually all over the world. This knowledge is all over the world, but as you will see later on, this knowledge is just from one creator, from one source basically, and they took it all over the world. So also the Chinese used it, especially with the Qi. So they had these 5 elements, I think. They had wood, fire, earth, metal, water, and they have used this already also a very long time ago. And this is very related to what we are talking about. Then we have the ancient Indians. They had the mudras and chants. So they have been chanting, they have been making certain noises, and it's all connected. So you can have vibrations with your own sound. There's even letters. The A makes a special sound. It's all intention and sound. And all these cultures knew that and used it. The ancient Persians used it, of course. Then you have the Tibetan monks with their bowls, with their singing bowls and with their chants. Then you have the Native American cultures that also had all the rhythms. They had the drums. You had the Aboriginals with the didgeridoo. You had the ancient Sumerians. And the ancient Sumerians we will talk about a little later, because they had very special knowledge, or they wrote down very special knowledge. But you see, every culture, all of these old cultures, they have all used sound and also movement, singing oftentimes, instruments, to produce a certain sound. So let's go even further back. That's why I call it prehistory, the Anunnaki. So maybe some of you have heard about the Anunnaki already. This is a story that some culture from another planet came to our planet to actually dig for gold. And the story goes that they used us humans to work for them. But also they have left a lot of knowledge on the planet. Let's have a look where the word is coming from. So it's Sumerian, and it's the N, the first part is heaven, and the Ki is earth. Nuna refers to the principle of royal descendants. So these are basically the people who came from heaven to earth, the royal people who came from heaven to earth. And they have left a lot of historical things, historical writings in Sumeria, in the Sumerian tablets, as you will see. I don't want to talk about too much of that because it's all about frequencies, but you will see that they had a lot of knowledge. To give you a little idea, these are the stone clay tablets, and they are translated. So this is nothing that is not proven. So you can go to these museums and read it. And actually a lot of these tablets are a big part of the Bible, but some are left out. So there's different tablets with different knowledge, and some of them are in the Bible. Here you can go on the University of Chicago. There is some tablets there. There's a website that I will link below where you can actually go online and read all the tablets in the translation already. So this is one of these tablets. There is just flat tablets, but there's also tablets like this, which will have 4 sides, and it's just some kind of block where you can read. How is this related to healing? So here, as we heard already from these Egyptian older men, also in this text, there is parts in there that say healing temples, sound chambers. Anunnaki healing temples may have contained specific chambers designed to enhance acoustics and chanting prayers. So they had already healing temples. This is written in some of these tablets. So we know that they had it. They had this kind of echo chambers also. So they had special healing chambers, they had special echo chambers, they had vibration medicine, which is written down in some of the tablets. They would know what kind of vibration you need to heal somebody. This is also like the older Egyptian man describes basically in the video that we saw before. In the sacred text that we have been talking about, this is the tablets. They wrote down everything that basically came down from the Anunnaki. So they tried to preserve it for later on. So all this knowledge is in there. So now the strangest part, sound was not just used for healing or vibrational healing. It was also used for weapons. So in the tablets there is one piece that says that they had this kind of sticks, as you see here, the guy from Stargate, and they could actually use the sound for getting away people or making them sick. Like the military is also using these days. They have these devices if they have demonstrations and they want to get rid of the demonstrants. So they use this sound, and they can use the sound in a way that you're getting actually sick and it hurts and you want just to go away. So there's one part in the tablets where they describe this, and there's also information there that they have been able to levitate things using a way of sound. This is the end of this historical presentation, but in the next presentation we will have a look at Royal Raymond Rife. And Royal Raymond Rife was the inventor of some frequency devices. So an American inventor, a pioneer of the frequency therapy, and he did much more than the frequency therapy. He developed an engine, he developed the microscope, which is very important because he needed this for his work. When he started to develop the frequency therapy machine, he needed a way to find out if he could kill the pathogens with the frequencies. And this is why he developed also the microscope, so he could prove that certain frequencies could kill certain pathogens. And he managed to do that. He was really a great inventor, but in my opinion, I don't think he invented it. Also in this case, I think he discovered something that we probably knew at least parts of it from the past, and then he put it into his frequency machine, which is basically a simple machine that puts out frequencies and you can tune it to a certain frequency, and he had to find out the frequency who killed certain pathogens, for example. And he managed to do that. He was very successful, but as you will see in the part about Royal Raymond Rife, it didn't end up too well for him. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you liked the content, and I will continue to produce some content. The next content part will be about Raymond Rife. We also talk about other stuff. If you're interested in frequency healing, if you're looking for the right frequencies, if you have something that you want to get rid of, then check out our website, healingwizard.org. Have a look in the description below. There's some links below you may be interested, and I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye. All the best.